Okay, everybody, we'd like to welcome you back to episode 7 now, I believe.
7 it is.
Of the Squatch and Yeti show. I'm
I'm
Squatch.
Yeti.
And man, we got some interesting stuff to talk about today. I know
Somewhat. I mean,
I find it interesting.
Squatch is more invested in this than me. I'm down for it. I just don't have much to talk about on it. So this is going to be more of a. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see
We're
what we
going
figure
to
out.
see whatever my theories tickle what crazy part of your brain.
Yes. This is going to be interesting. Tickle my brain, Squatch. No, I won't say that again. Was bad. That's been recorded. Now,
That's not getting edited out.
I don't think it would.
Okay, so last week we talked about zombie apocalypse and whatnot.
Bombs and whatnot. Yeah.
You know, all these crazy different post-apocalyptic sci-fi movies and stuff. One that comes up a lot and has been for decades now, I guess centuries when you look back at all the different civilizations, talk about aliens and stuff like that.
Oh.
Which first off,
Brain's already tickling. Already tickling. Yep.
I'm gonna jump off into my Bigfoot fact of the day.
Fun.
There are some cultures, they talk about Bigfoot having powers and stuff like that. I think I talked about this in the last one, but how they say Bigfoot can jump through like different dimensions and stuff like that.
Since when has this been a thing?
It's something I read the other day. It's crazy.
What? I have never heard that ever. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's too outlandish considering that, I don't know. There's crazier theories out there. So,
True, but so I don't know. With that, I mean, to me, that makes Bigfoot sound like some weird otherworldly creature.
does it maybe that's why we can't find evidence of him for
They're
them?
like, hey, now you see me, pew, now you don't.
Yeah, that is, or maybe he's just really good at camouflaging.
Ah,
He's
could
like
be.
he's like the more earthly version of the predator. Like he cloaks himself with his own fur or pelt, whatever you want to call it, and like can like reduce his body temperature like a chameleon. Not necessarily a chameleon. They raise their body temperature, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, he lowers body heat. Let's go with
I
that.
mean, we're talking cryptozoology, so like anything's
Yeah,
possible.
anything's out there. But quickly, I was going to see, man, how you been doing?
I've been doing good, man. Been working on the house, spending time with the kiddos, just living life. So, we'll segue on to our topic now.
Oh, okay. Ain't gonna ask how I am. That's cool. I appreciate that.
Well, I was going to get to that, how
Nah, it's all right. I haven't been doing nothing. I've been sitting here doing nothing. Well,
no further life advancements, no more passing or positives on any test.
at the moment, no. Trying to find information about the MedAid thing. I was trying to get into. Remember? That's why phone's on silent because I've been getting blown up by people. But yeah, aside from that, I haven't really done much, man. Like I just been sitting here at the house trying to do some chores and whatnot. Get caught up from all the COVID and I had to still clean up, the blankets and towels and whatnot. I make it sound like a horror movie. Like there was just blood everywhere. The towels need to be cleansed. I'm like, no, I've been doing laundry, man. I don't know what I did at work the other day, but I twisted my wrist or something. I don't know.
At work, right?
Yeah, yeah. Improper lift mechanics implemented, and this is the result. So, anyway, topic segregation. That sounded terrible. Segregation. Oh my god.
Do you have a speech impediment back in like the 40s?
Speech
50s?
impediment with a bunch of not okay brain farts happening. Oh my lord. Anyway,
On this podcast, we do not support segregation or segregation.
no segues here. Why is this still a thing?
The segues are never going away.
Apparently not. They have their own segregation. Oh my god. On today's episode of Yeti's Brain Does Not Work. Yeah, man. This is a good time. This is gonna be a good time. My lack of brain power right now, and you laughing at me. This is right back at being 9 years old.
So on the topic of aliens,
Hey, shut up! I slip up once, and this is what I get. What the hell? I'm gonna do. Can I do this? Stuttering now, damn it! I'm gonna be. That's all, folks. I'm gonna do the disclaimer now. We talk about everything taboo and whatnot. We talk about political, religion, whatever have you. Religion. I want to say gender equality stuff, but I don't know if that's the right term. We do use foul language and such. We will be some cursing, not
foul language and offensive humor.
if it's offensive, crude humor. If this does offend you, you can always go listen to someone else.
Joe Rogan, again, I always
you
bring him up,
or the Tate Bros. You're really a fan of them,
yeah.
So.
Or Howard Stern. If you have a problem with offensive things, go
You should
listen.
definitely
to
go listen to Howard Stern. Yeah, absolutely. That man will break you down and then just not even think even he wouldn't even bat an eyelash about it. Like he wouldn't even care. Like you were nothing. You was talking to the wall for all he knows. Anyway, this segregation. Oh man, I am still got a slight cough from the COVID stuff. The COVID, I just said that.
Rona.
I missed my way because I got on to some people like, I have the COVID. It's not, no, you have COVID. There's no "the" that needs to be implemented there. And I guess mine was in a more proper sentence from the COVID symptoms I have. So, anyway, I'm going to shut up now for a few seconds and let my brain chill. What are your theories on this outer-worldly topic today? Because I know that you are obviously into paranormal stuff, and I know you're a horror fan. So these two things correlate with phenomenons from. I can say phenomenon, but I can't say, dude. I can't say segue. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Anyway, you have some theories about this extraterrestrial stuff. So like, what's your take on it?
So, first off, I've over the years met people and we've argued about, oh, aliens aren't real, da da da. And I actually recently discussing with somebody and kind of used, I guess, my religion as a way to justify aliens.
Really?
And, a lot of people will be triggered right there. Oh, there's no aliens in the Bible.
I'm assuming you're about to explain this because I am now curious.
Yes. So, I mean, I believe, God or whatever you want to call our creator was logical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he made multiple universes and stuff. Why would he just put, living, life or whatever on one little speck of dust that is our multiple galaxies and all that?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like when you're trying to fertilize your lawn, you don't plant one seed in the whole thing and then
you plant the whole yard, right?
Yeah.
Now, with that, where the alien thing comes into play and aliens coming to our planet and all that, I have this really ongoing theory, or really crazy ongoing theory, that all these crazy abduction by alien stories possibly are real for the simple fact of, look at who always claims they were abducted. It's never a scholar from Harvard, right?
Yeah, it's always some.
It's like Jim Bob from the trailer park.
It's always some quotation marks here, madman or a crazed guy or whatever have you, or some farmer out in the middle of this cornfield.
Like a farmer, a hillbilly, someone that you would discredit intellectually pretty easily. And, when the guy from Harvard's like, hey, so I was walking my dog and these
little poodles and I went up into the air.
Yeah, and we went and they had all this advanced technology and it was very crazy. They performed medical procedures and they sent me back to Earth. And okay, well, that's all right, cool. But
excuse me.
That would be believable and make sense.
Why? So I am gonna interject real quick. Is why take somebody with less intelligence? Like, are they able to scan that? Or like, is there some way like you think that this is a? Do you think what's your reasoning behind this?
I
Like, are you
think
getting
it's
there?
a like cover up mechanism for them to study us because hear me out. If when they take Jim Bob from the trailer park, beam him up there, whatever,
Yeah.
do whatever they do. When
Like,
he comes out, man, I was probed by the aliens, and they had all these lights on their spaceship, and
so you're saying like I see what you're saying. Like there is like a cover up thing. Like they're using the less intellectual people because it's like, oh, they're just on drugs or they got really shit faced and they just had a crazy night.
when they pick up Earl that has like multiple drug felony convictions, they're like, no one's gonna believe this guy,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And if they were to get somebody like a scholar or a scientist or whatever have you, somebody who with like, what's that one guy? Uh, oh hell, what's his name? The
Which
dude,
one?
the African American guy who used to be like had his own TV show and everything, and he does like the Cosmos show. I can't remember his
Oh,
name. For the love of
he was
God,
on like
hold on.
KERA or PBS, something like that.
Yes, yes. I can't remember his name. We're gonna Google Magic. This is technology. Maybe that's where we got the technology.
Maybe.
Because there was that massive leap in technology some time ago, and it's just like boom. We have phones. We have vast information literally in the palms of our hands that we really probably shouldn't have access to. Let's be honest with that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the technology we have now compared to what we had as little kids, this is alien technology.
Yes, absolutely
Like
is.
we were stoked to get a little Game Boy Color, and like now you've got like a supercomputer in your pocket.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I probably
Neil
mispronounced
deGrasse Tyson.
deGrasse. Yeah, sorry, I'm not English good. So him. Like, why would they not grab that guy? Like, that dude is awesome. And I love the way he explains things because, for obvious reasons, he's very intelligent. He can explain everything. Like, when what was it? He did something like for the Marvel thing. He's like, I can calculate how heavy Thor's hammer is. I was like, what? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen the clip where he calculated how heavy Mjolnir is?
I've seen like some of his content, but not a lot of like stuff like that.
He was like we'll get to that in a second, but yes, why would they not take that guy? For what I just said, he calculated how heavy Mjolnir is and why it's incapable of being picked up by anybody but he who is worthy or who is worthy to be presented as Thor.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. That guy has lots of logic, lots of intelligence. Here's the thing. If they get that guy and they send him back,
Yeah.
well, he will be able to like greatly explain what went on. Possibly like he's enough logic that he would have like tried to communicate with them while he's up there and like figure out why they're
So
there.
what you're saying is they're not taking people like him because, like what you were saying earlier, the whole cover up, they're just seeing us biologically experimenting on us, like kind of like what we would do with pigs and such, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, was like the whole premise of like the Predator movies and all that.
Yeah, yeah, like how
Like
they
like
worthy trophies and whatnot.
like really our civilization here on Earth was kind of like just pets to
You're
them.
messing up too. Your English is not good today either.
My English is never good. I was born and raised in Texas.
Hey, I was somewhat of the same. Anyway. That makes sense though, man. Like I never actually really thought about it that way. So are you saying like religion wise that I don't mean to this is gonna obviously offend people. What you're saying is like aliens is what we perceive to be God?
I'm not really saying that. I'm just stating that.
Excuse me. I mean there was a burning bush in the book that you read.
Yeah.
You've read. Like
I mean, there's lots of things in there.
there's a lot of things that are wild to me.
Well, that's the whole thing of a supernatural being.
True. But it's also things of aliens with advanced technology that can do said things. So
true. And there is actually like religions that believe essentially that the whole God theory, God was an alien, that Earth was an experiment. And I don't know in depth on that a lot, but I actually have a friend that is a
That makes sense. That kind of terrifies me just here thinking about that right now. Is like, what if that is true? Like, hear me out. God or gods, plurals and singular, just depending on who you are. What if we're like their little terrarium? What if Earth is just their little like little ant box? You know, like we're just being perceived for them their own little entertainment. Like we're the aquarium. You know, like we're any of those things where they just seeded life. They didn't like the dinosaurs. They didn't do what they wanted them to do. You know, they didn't have too much advancements, or maybe they just wanted to start something fresh.
maybe the dinosaurs actually got too
I was
advanced.
gonna say maybe dinosaurs were advanced, and so that's why they're like, okay, let's start afresh, and let's magnifying glass them, so to speak, and wipe the planet. And then thus, you know, here comes primitive people and whatnot, and mammals and such, where they just started again. First they had giant reptiles, now they're trying with mammals. There's still some reptiles, but not all.
I mean, I could see where that can make sense.
But that's like the kid the magnifying glass to an anthill. Like I that's what that like I said just now I had that epiphany. Like what if that's a thing? Because you know I'm not religious. Doesn't mean I don't believe in some things, but anyway, it that makes more sense in my perspective with my beliefs because now that's like, dude, like my brain's exploding right now with like the thoughts of like there's something out there or some things that are quite literally just observing us from afar, which has been disclosed now by the U.S. government and other governments that there are like all this stuff they were trying to hide for however long. There's now videos and photos of the UFOs and whatnot.
yeah, so talking about the government and UFOs and all that, do you remember when they had the whole "we're gonna raid Area 51" thing?
I vaguely remember it.
I remember it was like a big thing on Facebook and all that. And
Yeah, I probably didn't
I
care for it too much.
I'll admit I followed it pretty like hardcore. Like I wasn't like hoping some crazy like they would come out with like, alien spaceships like flying out of Area 51. None of that. I was just really disappointed that it didn't actually happen.
Why?
Like just because I know the kind of people that were going to participate in the
But
whole raid. And
what if it did happen and what you just said did happen, as in like they were able to quotation marks raid Area 51, which is already a stupid idea. That's a military base of the highest security for some reason, which is also scary. If they did succeed and then stuff did get out, do you not think that that might have brought upon the end of the world? You know, the apocalypse.
mean,
What? And here's another funny thing about the apocalypse. Say God is an alien, demons or aliens or whatever have you, which is technically it could be a thing, I guess, from a different dimension. What if this said rapture, where like people who believe and whatnot are saved and they whatever have you, right?
yeah,
What if like that movie This Is the End with like Seth Rogen and whatnot, right?
yeah.
I'm only using this one scene because it made this kind of
Not the Channing
correlates.
Tatum scene, right?
No, and the Danny Mc. No, I'm good. No, I'm referring to when you see everybody like being raptured, like they're being sucked up into the air by beams of light. Those beams of light, the same thing that farmer Joe Bob is like, I got sucked up into this light and it took me up into the sky and I don't remember what happened.
I mean, I could see where you come to that conclusion.
But was that not something that the world's ending because like whatever happened, like nuclear waste or whatever happened caused the world to start ending. So to save people, they come in and just quotation marks rapture them up into their ships and take them elsewhere, and that would technically be your quotation marks heaven.
I mean, like I said, I could see some logic in that. Now there are actually some, like, I can't remember if this dude was like I don't remember what he was, some kind of. Anyways, he was on this podcast and he was very involved in religion, and he supposedly, I don't know if he got abducted supposedly or did, I don't know, just had a vision or some crazy thing like that. But
Yeah.
he had this theory that, yes, there are other beings out there and all this,
Excuse me.
because he could essentially justify that with the whole logical, logical God thing. Like, has to
Right.
be. Come on, there's got to be other things out there.
Well, that's obvious. There's other things out there. Like, there's no way that there isn't.
But his theory was that so there are obviously other species, and much like in sci-fi films and all that, there are planets where there are good, happy aliens,
Yeah.
and there's planets where they're
Tyrannical
yeah.
beings. Yeah.
And he had this theory that these otherworldly, tyrannical beings and stuff were like actually like essentially demons or possessed by demons, and
Sounds like the John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars.
I don't know what that is, but
You've never seen that?
surprisingly no.
Do your homework, my friend. Try to find it. It is an amazing film. You know I'm not too one for horror, but this one is awesome. It's got Ice Cube in it. Okay, that might get your attention already. It's turns out like I'm sorry to cut you off on all this, but like you brought like the whole like possession and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In John Carpenter's Ghost from Mars, they're on Mars. There's mining operations and stuff happening to get whatever resources, right? Whilst they're mining this wall or whatever, they come across like an ancient tomb with like weird hieroglyphic alien stuff. And this weird like I want to say gas or air came out or something, and the people around the site just kind of like start falling over unconscious. When they come to, they start like mutilating themselves and whatnot, like cutting themselves up and modifying their bodies, so to speak. And then they start murdering everybody else who isn't like them. Come to find out later in the film, you learn that one of the scientists discovers they were possessed by the alien spirits that were in that tomb. And there's no stopping it because they're a spiritual entity. And come to find out, the only thing that actually expels them from your body is drugs. It's just, you really need to see the movie. I kind of want to watch it now.
It sounds like something right up my alley. Like,
good old-fashioned, like, early 2000s movie, man.
oh, so even better.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I'm
and
just
it's
the whole sci-fi aliens plus like spiritual possession, like
and you got Ice Cube doing his little thing, like he's just
the ghetto comedic relief.
yes. It's more ghetto than comedic relief.
By the way, off topic, he was like my favorite character in Anaconda.
He's my favorite character in freaking Friday. Well, not really. I like Day Day. Day Day's stupid and Friday. Anyway, he was good in Anaconda. Yes, I haven't seen that movie in a long time because I don't like snakes. I've actually only seen it once. I'm good.
Which, by the way, that movie, not to bring race into it, but it's one of the few movies that involve like big crazy animals.
And the black guy not dying
The
first.
black guy,
Yeah.
and the Mexican woman, like actually
Don't die. Yeah.
like they finished
Yeah.
the movie out. Like
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez, man. Whew.
she finishes a lot of things.
Shut up. No, sir. Not today. Maybe later. But that's, for one, you really need to go see that movie. Not Anaconda, John Carpenter's. It's a really good movie, man. It's right up your alley. It's sci-fi. It's got a tidbit of like suspense. I wouldn't say horror, but like suspense type stuff. Good action and whatnot. And for somehow, like it kind of just works. I don't know. It's just good old fashioned early 2000s like action suspense movie, man. It's really awesome.
Definitely have to check that out.
Because like it's just exactly what you were just saying about like these spirits or demons or whatever possessing people and whatnot, and even more so crazy because it's like they're aliens doing it. So it's like that's fucking wild. First F-bomb I think I've dropped on this series.
I think it might be the first cuss word of this episode.
No, I said shit earlier. Well, I said it again now.
Well,
anyway. But that's interesting that you brought that up because, like I said, like somebody obviously has already had that thought too and made it into a freaking film. So,
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, so kind of like I know we've discussed in the past about like various beasts, things like that. Like,
Yeah,
these stories come from somewhere.
like
Um,
werewolves and vampires and such.
yeah, so like, I mean,
Well,
come
it's
on, like
it's across all different cultures across the globe,
for centuries.
thousands of years for a millennia. We'll just go ahead and round it up here to that. That they had quotation marks no communication to one another, but yet they all still have somehow similar beings or creatures or whatever have you mythos of the same relatively same creatures.
I actually, so funny thing, I watched a
And
video
or
on
gods really too.
TikTok. It was a
You and your TikTok, man. I mean, I can't really say much. I watch Facebook Reels and YouTube
it's all the
Shorts. It's all
same.
like, I just call them shorts because that's what it is. You have a 30-second window to be stupid or
But
intelligent and pass on information. So
anyways, this guy had a theory that he was like, what if what we quote see as aliens were just like humans from like another Earth in a different galaxy or whatever?
yeah, that
He's
makes
like,
sense.
hear me out. Like you put humans in a low gravity situation with no sunlight and all that, and he broke it down like bit by bit very well. But basically, like if humans were exposed to say being stuck in a spaceship for 20, 30, 40 years away from gravity and all that, it would
Your
change our skin color,
Teller,
yeah,
yes, Teller's.
tone, color, whatever.
You merge the two together. I appreciate it. I understood.
We're in the business of inventing words on here.
Apparently, dude, like segregation, like what the hell? I still can't believe I ever said that. I'm not there by
But
myself. You're with me now. That makes sense though, because if you really think about it, the human body is actually able to adapt to quite a bit of different circumstances, wherever you may have it, provided we can survive there. Our body will then start to learn how to adapt to make us even more capable to survive in that atmosphere, wherever it may be. Here on our own planet, people in the Amazon, people out on crazy islands in the middle of nowhere, they've adapted.
there's different physical
Yes,
and internal traits. Like,
yes. A really well known one, and this is quite the most obvious one, I think, because it's whatever have you, is over in Africa. Most of the tribesmen there, dude, they can run non-stop with almost next to no fluid, like water or whatever have you, for hours and not even lose their breath.
well, yeah, I mean, hell, Africa out in the tribes, like you spend your time running from a lion, like,
Or well, you're also having to hunt for things though too, more so
and
out there.
things
But
like that, like
it,
over time, kind of genetically becomes wired into your body,
yes,
and it passes on generation to generation. Like people that are born and raised up in the mountains,
yeah.
they're adapted to breathing that kind of air.
The
You
Inuit
put them,
people,
you put them
are
down in
crazy too.
Texas,
They're it's like what
just
so
like if you put us up in the mountains too long.
I was gonna say when I went to Colorado for that vacation, right? We were hiking. My friend, he was I can't remember how he described it. He's like, get you some of that soup air. Or no, he as we were coming down, he was like, yep, start breathing that soup in. I didn't understand what he meant until like I started hiking up and how thin the air gets. And then when you come back down, you start to realize like you're sucking in thicker air. He's like you're breathing soup essentially because soup is relatively thick.
Yeah,
I was like that makes so much sense to me now. And people like you're saying in higher climate or higher altitudes, not climates. What the hell? Higher, well, even higher climates too. Like the heat can get to you. Anyway, higher altitude people are insane. Inuit people are the same way. They quite literally, because of how they live in such a crazy, harsh environment, they don't cry. Like, they don't have tear ducts practically. Like, have you seen that?
no, I haven't seen that. But
Yeah, and like they also process things differently when they eat to stay warm for one and lose and waste as little energy as possible to keep yourself warm. But they don't have tear ducts because if they were to start watering, their eyes would freeze. The same thing with the way that their eyes look is to help prevent them going blind from all the sun radiating off of the freaking snow and ice. That's why it looks like they're squinting, though they're really not. That is extra skin that has grown up over their eyelids, down over to protect their eyes, man.
Essentially, like a built-in visor.
Yes. And it's the same thing in the Amazon, too. People over there, they have way different feet than us because they're primarily using their feet to climb trees and such. Their feet are more like hands. Like the way their feet are positioned, like it looks like when you have your hands spread out, their big toe is out more and can like grab a hold of things because as well it helps them with walking on the I don't want to say marsh, I guess some of it's marshy, but like the marsh style like soft footing of the Amazon.
Yeah.
It's wild. So that makes sense. Like if
Well,
you
I
were
mean,
to
so it's funny you bring that up. Like, we have literally caused our own physical adaptations
yeah
in Western culture because you talk about the footing thing. The big craze right now is those barefoot shoes,
yeah
and I've been looking into them because I years ago switched to wearing a lot of boots and regular shoes,
yeah
and I remembered back when I just wore like thin, flimsy Converses and stuff all the time.
yeah
Like my feet were a lot stronger, and I was not as susceptible to foot pain.
yeah
And I was watching a video, and they were talking about how regular like tennis shoes and all that, the way they make the supports that are supposed to be better.
yeah.
Yes, they can be better, but they also cause you to use different or less muscles in your feet.
So your feet become weaker essentially to a degree in some aspects.
Yeah, and so the whole thing with these barefoot shoes is
It's
over
a more
time,
natural thing.
like they train your foot to use all the muscles,
So you go back to more
and
of
they
a
have like a wider toe cap on them.
yes.
Which a lot of our shoes all come to some form of a point or thin rounded end.
Yep.
So like, I mean, I can look at my feet right now. Like, so used to before, like my feet just got gargantuan as I got older.
What, like a size 14, 12,
Yep.
19?
Yes,
Oh
19
my
and a
God.
half.
You know what they say about men with 19 size feet, right?
Got 19 size socks.
I was going to say something else, but yeah.
But
Baby carrot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it's a perfectly average sized carrot. Okay.
Anyway, no, that makes complete sense, man. Because like you're just saying with the feet and everything, that's Western culture in general. Like we have completely, we'll just say civilization, quotation marks on civilization, has completely changed how people think, breathe, act. How we've been able to evolve as humans. We aren't like how we used to be.
I mean, used to, like we, big men walked around, because you to hunt, do all this heavy work,
Yeah.
big wide shoulders and all this, and now everyone's hunchback, shoulders sunk down.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I take so much pride in the way I like when I'm walking at work and stuff. Like I was talking to one of our coworkers and like you don't look like you weigh like I'm a big man. You know that. Oh, I just hit the mic. I'm proud of myself. I lost some weight. I'm 307 pounds. People don't think that I'm 307 because of how like I stand straight. I try to have a quotation marks here proper posture, but bigger dudes like us usually freaking slouch.
yeah.
I can't do it, man. It doesn't feel right on like I want to say like I'm going to say primitive level. I'm losing the track of the word I want to say, but like on a primitive level, I don't feel like that's the right way to walk is to be hunched over with us.
No, and like even if like, yeah, and sometimes I catch myself slouching when like I'm tired or whatever.
Yeah.
But you like when you're exhausted and you feel yourself kind of slumped over or whatever, like when you just like or consciously make yourself like shoulders up, shoulders back, head up, like you feel like
You feel better.
different.
You feel more natural. I feel like that's just me.
I mean, like I get the same things because I mean, I'm currently I was at like 350, 360 for the last 2 years, and I'm currently down to like
Excuse me.
335. But even when
Good
I
on
hit
you, man.
like in the 340s, three. Everyone's like, "There's no way you weigh more than like 300 pounds because the way I carry myself."
Yeah.
Now, I mean, of course, believe me, you catch me sitting down at the wrong angle,
I
that guts.
was gonna say, yeah. When I get a photo taken of me and I'm sitting, I'm like, that's not a flattering photo. I don't look good like that.
I know, like my mom posted a memory the other day on Facebook, and it was of me like took a side profile of me like laid back on the couch, and I'm like,
No,
oh my god.
that's terrible. But that makes sense though, man. The whole adaptation, like you're saying, being out in space for however long, because that. So with that being said, like aliens being maybe a different type of human or whatever that has adapted to whatever have you, that makes sense as to why some things here in the world we have. Like I don't know about you, but if I'm around mannequins for too long, it freaks me out. And this is a thing I truly believe. And this is another reason why I also don't like some other things. I'm not going to disclose them to you because you'll freaking use it against me, asshole.
Totally.
It's the psychological thing of like when, as a primitive race of humans, the reason why we're afraid of certain things was because that certain thing used to probably be what hunted us.
Makes sense.
So, like, little faceless creatures creep me out. Does that make sense?
Now I can see that. Like,
There's a reason why I like cave systems and such. I hate them, dude. I'm not too much. I'm afraid of pitch black. That sucks. Like, not the movie. The movie's fantastic, but like not being able to see my own hand an inch from my eye. Like, dude,
so you would not have fun at like one of my favorite vacations.
I'm not going to any cave system. No.
Dude, you've got to go explore some caverns at some
No.
It's like a
I've
guided
been
tour.
I've been once when I was religious. I used to be a Baptist. I used to live a long time ago as a Baptist little boy. Some churchgoers and everything. Hey, we're gonna take a trip to Carlsbad Caverns. Went to Carlsbad Caverns. Dude, I got sick. For one, it was too humid, too hot for me. I got physically ill and was vomiting the entire tour of the cave system. I remember my brother having to help me and his friends at the time helped me through the system because, for one, I was terrified because as you're going through the cave system, you know what they do, right? They turn on the light ahead and then turn off the light behind. Nothing like having a sheet of pitch black being shut behind you to give you the sense of how small and insignificant you are in that cave and then hearing weird noises that you're not accustomed to. All the while being a sick child, I'm good. Not doing it again. Don't like cave systems. Now that I'm a bigger man, claustrophobia has set in. No.
See, I went to the Sonora Caverns. I didn't go to Carlsbad. But in Sonora, Texas, a really cool little cavern deal. It's very spacious in there. They like let you get out of the area before they shut the lights off.
I'm good. I want to stay on the path.
But
Path safe. Everything else not. There's probably
Well,
some
like,
little
what
cave creature like come off the path. I'm good. No, I'm all right.
well, they no, like, so they like when you're walking down the path or whatever, like once you make it into the next part and everybody's in there, then they shut the lights off to the previous one.
That still terrifies me though.
Like, you don't, there's only one part where you're actually in like kind
Excuse me.
of darkness or whatever,
Yeah, I'm good.
and
They
take you into this room
No,
and
I'm out.
you experience like
the darkness? No.
like total darkness.
No.
Like,
Yeah, they did that to me. No. My brother probably is another reason why I don't like I love my brother, but like he likes to mess with me. You know my brother. When we were young, dude, they did that. This is where I'm like, you got your hand in front of your face. Like I hear the instructor, the tour guide's like, well, you can put your hand in front of your face. You're not gonna be able to see it. You ready? Everybody ready? We're about to turn the lights off. Lights go off. I know everybody. The whole group I had in front of me just disappears. I'm good, dude. And then the lights come on. My brother's not there. He somehow mystically found his way behind me and scares the shit out of me, dude. No.
see, my
I can't.
experience with that, like, as soon as they were fixing to do it, my dad looks over and he says, "Don't you fuck with your sister."
See, good on your dad.
Because I was a big brother and I would have
Oh
done that.
shit! Speaking of which, we forgot to say dad stuff. Happy late Father's Day to everyone.
Oh yeah, that was this weekend.
Yeah, it was this. It was Sunday. We were at work, and it was not a fun time for us.
No.
I forgot to mention that. Like, oh, yeah, well, your dad brought it up. Your dad still being a dad, even sucks, man. I'm sorry, but like, I actually was writing that letter to my dad. I'll go ahead and say I wrote my dad a letter, and I was telling him about my vehicle issues. Right. I was like, I thanked him. I was like, Dad, like, I want to let you know I really appreciate all the things that you taught me. I'm saying this because I want all of our listeners out there who are dads, maybe potentially becoming a dad or whatever have you. Good on you. Like, keep being a dad. Keep doing you. You guys are
Do not
awesome.
be a deadbeat. If you're a deadbeat, fuck off.
Yes. Yes. What Squatch just said.
Like I'm a dad, and believe me, being a dad is like one of the best feelings in the world. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Sunday when we were at work, everybody was telling you Happy Father's Day. I kind of got jealous. The housekeeper's like, "Do you have any pets or anything?" And it made me feel so crappy because I just lost my dog back in December. I was like, "No, I don't. I don't have any pets anymore." And she was like, "Well, I was gonna tell you Happy Father's Day," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a dad of any form or fashion." And it makes me jealous, man. I want to be able to be a dad. Like, hopefully, it happens at some point.
it'll happen, bro.
All I'm saying, man, like, Happy Father's Day, Squatch. Late
Thank
Father.
you,
I
bro.
told you Happy Father's Day, but like, just want to let that be known.
Happy
Forgot to
late
say that.
Father's Day to all the other
Yes,
listeners out there.
yes. Happy late Father's Day. You guys are awesome. Keep doing you. Don't be deadbeats. We'll get that black guy off of the TikToks that goes and tackles deadbeats. You don't want to be tackled by him. He's a big fucking dude. I said the F bomb again. The roles have been reversed. What is happening?
Using them wordy dards on the podcast. I
I
almost said the TikTok.
on the TikTokers. Ain't watching them TikTokers and them goddamn people taking our dubs. What's next near COVID?
Now, on a side note, anyone, if your father was happened to be one of these trailer park guys abducted by the aliens, he's not a deadbeat.
He might be,
He,
actually.
I mean, maybe he was. Like,
Anytime I think of Trailer Park Boys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just imagine that one that drunk. We're just gonna do a wrap around. Drinks. Oh my gosh. There's something wrong with me today. But yeah. Dude, no, your dad was like, don't fuck with your sister. That makes sense. Because your dad was always like that.
yeah, but he would do some of the meanest pranks ever.
Yeah, but it was a different scenario. Y'all were in public and everything. I mean, a little bit different situation. Not to mention you're in a cave system. He probably didn't want to hear the echoing sound of your sister screaming.
You're probably right. But, like, they, again, like talking about caves, they say, like, when they did the pitch black thing, they said, like, spending so many minutes in total darkness, like, would mess your eyesight up. Not being exposed to sunlight and all that stuff. That jacks your body up.
I can verify that because I used to work nights for quite some time. Not being exposed to like just your natural circadian rhythm, it does mess with you on a multitude of levels. You witnessed this firsthand, like the transition I went from being a night shift employee to a day shift employee. My night shift mentality was vastly different. I was nowhere near as I am now. A lot more doom and gloom, and I liked night shift, the peacefulness of it, but I hated how I was just I had so many different thoughts at night, and not good ones.
Oh, see, night shift working night shift. That's where I got to dive into all my crazy theories because management
Oh
wasn't up
yeah,
my ass.
yeah. That's how I was too. That's where a lot of this came from. Is I'd be sitting there talking to coworkers and stuff about it. Like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just talking about crap that's on my brain and doesn't keep. I'm awake at night, so here I am. So I feel like that's the same thing for you. And I'm not dogging night shift employees. I'm not saying that right now. Like, if you work night shifts, we can relate. Is all I was getting at. And it's like we understand.
Honestly, if you can maintain working night shift and have somewhat of a healthy mindset, more power to you.
Yeah, and maintain healthy relationships and whatnot, dude. You're how is what I want to know is how because it's one of my toughest times I had in my life was about a year or two ago. Anyway, much good, much good. What the hell is wrong with me today? Doing much better now. I'm on night.
Doing doing much good, are we?
Doing much good on the night. Yes, indeed. Dude, I can't speak right now. My brain is just going 1,000 miles a minute, and my mouth's like.
That's because the aliens know we're onto them, and they're
Apparently, they're
scrambling
sending.
your
I said
brain.
they're sending signals. Get the tinfoil hats, Bobby. We need them, dude. Yeah, it's that makes sense though. And like, oh, there was another movie that was really good about it. The Cave. Have you seen that one?
Maybe
Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the was it Descent? The Descent? I can't remember what it was. Like the hikers find a cave, or these cave divers go down, and like there's people down there that have mutated into cave dwellers and like eat the people and like kill them and such.
And I mean, like, so hear me out, like crazy, extraterrestrial theory. Something like that happens. Those cave dwellers, they're obviously feral, a little crazy, territorial. What do territorial beings do? They want to take over and grow their territory.
Yeah, I'm good.
So that happens, and say
Maybe that's what vampires are.
maybe,
Maybe vampires are just people who like just dwelled in caves, went too far into the caves, got stuck, so to speak, got used to cannibalism. Dude, that makes sense. Oh my god. There's probably a cave out there with quotation marks vampires in it.
could be. Never know.
I don't want to. I don't want to know. Stay in your cave. That's all I can say. Stay in your cave.
So with like theories like that, and and with the alien theory, you know, you've heard all these stories of aliens coming to Earth and all this shit.
Yeah.
Well, why the hell haven't you seen reports of them staying or whatever? My thing is like, what is so bad on this Earth, but other than humans, that like they scanning the planet and like found something that
So what if it's like the War of the Worlds type thing, where like the atmosphere, like we're for them, air for us we have to use to breathe, right?
yeah
But for them, air is a poison. Like oxygen is a poison.
could be
Maybe that's why like we haven't fully terraformed. This is like Pacific Rim style stuff now, and some other stuff is like we haven't terraformed the planet enough for them to come back. Because back in the dinosaur times, atmosphere was vastly different.
could be.
Just food for thought. Because in most, I mean, it's not too outlandish for it to be true, and maybe that's why they keep coming back. Is because we have such a maybe they need the water we have here,
Could be.
and they're trying to see if we've like gotten further more into the ice age. Like maybe our planet wasn't supposed to have this much land, and with the ice and everything we had from the dinosaur comic and stuff, freezing global, right? Maybe because back then we were just it was one chunk of land, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So when they visited before, the one chunk of land is now broken into bits. It looks like less water. There's still a giant amount of water frozen, and it's slowly melting. Maybe like we were just their water bowl.
maybe.
Now that sounds weird. We're the freaking dirty stuff that's in your dog's water bowl. Like we're the rocks and stuff for some reason are in your dog's water bowl. I say that because I had to go take care of my mom's dog today, and for some reason there was a rock in his water bowl. I was like, why the hell is there a rock in? I didn't question it. I cleared it out, got him fresh water. But that's food for thought right there. Like I can't go too far into it because I just had the epiphany of myself. The epiphany, the idea of myself of like we're just the aliens' water bowl.
Well, so like you talked about like Pacific Rim and all that.
Yeah.
What if like say all these like random alien things that supposedly happen, like encounters, where like maybe what if they're just scouts and really it's like the whole Pacific Rim thing where there's like a giant kaiju planet that's looking to like create a portal.
I want that to happen, but at the same time, I don't want it to happen because I love kaiju stuff. But
I would
like,
be okay with it happening because like I like being in a more rural area. We don't have a big city for the like kaiju monsters to come destroy and feed off of. Like,
but it would still be like the end of the world.
well, yeah, I mean, in theory, unless
Like, if you not remember the first Pacific Rim, they had to nuke their first kaiju,
well, yeah,
and then like that just made more toxic waste because it's not from this. Anyway, you crazy, Jackie. Okay, you crazy. Anyway,
I'm just saying, like like we think of aliens mainly in terms of these little gray dudes.
I don't. I mean that's one of the ones I think of. Yes. But I think of aliens as being ones from across the border. I'm joking. That's a joke. We're going to get canceled for that. It's a joke. It's just a joke. If you can't take a joke, don't listen. I think of aliens being little gray men and whatnot. I think of aliens being like Pacific Rim style stuff, or even like I said, the John Carpenter stuff.
Yeah,
Like, realistically speaking, we actually have aliens still on this planet. Like, they're vastly in the vast depths of the ocean. I don't know why I said vastly before I said depths. That makes no sense. They're in the vast depths of the ocean. I mean, if you really think about it, dude, like, we know very little about our own ocean. And like you said the other day, like, we are more into let's get off our planet and go explore out there before we explore our own waters.
well, no. See, before NASA was doing space exploration, they were doing ocean exploration.
And now it's the opposite. So I'm agreeing with you. Is like
Why do
what?
they want off this
Yes.
rock?
What do they find? And that's what making me think. Like, dude, like, what if there is what was that game? Subnautica. There's a game called Subnautica where you're flying past this planet or whatever. Your ship crashes onto this planet completely covered in water, very little land. It's the whole like water world type thing, right?
Yeah.
And on this planet, dude, like there's alien constructs and whatnot, and come to find out, it's all infected by some whatever hell have you. But the gist of the story of the game is like you're trying to survive on a planet full of water, and the deeper you go, the more alien stuff becomes. So what if our own oceans is just that? Because, like I said, there are many points in the ocean where, like, you can take the world's tallest building. You can take Mount Everest, put that bitch in the water. It's still not touching the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, let that sink in real quick. That is terrifying. And people who love the ocean, oh, I love the ocean. You love the top of the water.
Top of the water's pretty.
Well, we're going to do this real quick childhood memory in the lane of nostalgia. Freaking Land Before Time, big water. Don't like it. Yeah, if you get that reference, you're an OG. I'm serious, man. It's ocean scares me, and I can see why. I'm like, I kind of want to go out to space more than I want to go into the ocean. Not to mention the crushing pressure of the ocean. That's you don't.
I mean, the vacuum of space is pretty bad too.
Yes, but we're more equipped for that than our own ocean. Again, our own ocean is more terrifying than what's outside of it. Just saying.
Maybe. I mean, how come we haven't been back to the moon?
Well, there's many movies out there that's probably depict a pretty good representation as to why. There's probably aliens up there. Dude, we don't know. Maybe the moon itself is an alien construct.
Could be.
Remember that really cheesy movie we tried watching? Dude, that was absurd. That was just a AAA version of the worst sci-fi film ever on Sci-Fi Channel. It was so dumb. What was it, like Moonfall or something?
Something like that. It had
Yeah.
like all the bones to be a good movie.
But just terrible.
Like great actors,
Great actors, bad acting.
horrible writing. I mean,
Yes.
you can't act out a bad script well.
No, they tried. It was just awful film. But maybe the moon is like a super thing, some kind of like structure that's just waiting to be undone. I don't know. Because like there's many a theories like the dark side of the moon type stuff. Like what's out there on the dark side of that moon. Like, because you lose comms and stuff with them.
A really great album with Pink Floyd.
Oh, I forget that you know musician stuff and whatever have you. But that's interesting, though, man. Like, to think that we were, or maybe aliens are us that have just evolved in a different way.
Could be.
What if that's why humans want to procreate with them? Where it's like, hey man, you're a long lost cousin twice, maybe 5 times removed from a previous generation centuries ago. That's weird. I know. I'm sorry. I'm messing up today. I can't English. I'm making bad
Humans
jokes.
want to procreate with the aliens due to our buried incestuous fantasies.
That's not a fantasy. I was just making a bad joke. Don't make it sound like I'm into my own family. Oh my god.
Sweet home Alabama.
No, we ain't going nowhere near Alabama. There ain't nothing sweet about home there. Man, that's giving me a lot to think about now. Not the incest stuff. Jesus, God. Ugh.
You brought that up this time.
You chuckled. And you're like, he's thinking about incest again. Shut up. No, I'm not. I was just making a bad joke and it's turned into something way worse. This is what happens, kids. When you play with fire, you get burnt, okay? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm tired of this cough. So sick of it. Excuse me.
So, quick hypothetical here. Like, if you could have a conversation with an alien, what would you ask them?
Would there already be like a system implemented to where we can understand one another?
Sure, maybe they have Google Translate or something.
I was thinking like the earwigs or something from like that. They kind of like help you like understand stuff. Anyway, okay. What I don't know. I wouldn't know what to even ask. Like what can you ask? They obviously know vastly more than you do, and the only thing like maybe the stuff they go to tell you can't even comprehend, and you just go insane. So why would you even want to talk? Like, say, there's a line, be like, "Hey, it's your turn. Go ask what you think he did, or it did, or what they did." I don't know how you would depict an alien if they have a gender
I
or
mean,
not.
I would want to like. I mean, for like if they come to Earth, like
I guess
I would want to know why. Obviously,
I would say I guess I'd wonder why come here.
I would ask that, and I would ask like in their travels, have how many other planets like Earth have they come across?
Yeah, are there other humans out there? I guess that would probably be one. Is there another? Is there more species or like we get into like the Mass Effect game style here? Because man, if there's some Asaris out there, whew, give me the tendrils, girl. You know what game I'm talking about, right?
I've seen like
Dude, Mass
ads for
Effect.
it and stuff.
Mass Effect's such an amazing game. But you can procreate with anything and everything in that game. Okay. Anyway, but in Mass Effect, the reason I'm bringing it up is because like in Mass Effect, there's a bunch of different species. They all can communicate to each other via whatever the hell thing, and they keep like there's still new species coming up. Does that make sense? Like they're not like they're still like in their primitive state, so to speak, but
Yeah.
they are becoming more advanced, and they either join the alliance of species, whatever they call it. I can't remember what they're called in the game, but I guess it'd be something like that. Like I would ask, like, hey, is there like a government or a system out there? I guess you really would say that keep y'all from not like wiping us out. Like, are we a threat to y'all?
Or are
Obviously,
you a threat to us? Like,
yes, they would definitely be a threat to us, but us to them, no, most likely not, man. If you really think about it, if at some point an advanced civilization that has perfected traveling from system to system, planet to planet, whatever have you, we would stand no chance.
I mean, but so with our government's like crazy secretive side, who's to say we don't do that right now? Would they ever tell us?
No, they wouldn't, but it doesn't, like, still, there's not enough of them to make a difference. like this isn't the second Independence Day where like we found alien technology, reverse engineered it, and now we have our own shit. Like that's not how that works. Like,
But what if we
not
did?
yet. Well, we're not there yet now. I'm guessing now, are we? And I'm gonna be really depressed because I really want to pilot a fucking mech, and it's never gonna happen in my lifetime.
You never know, dude. Japan has been building like working Gundam suits.
Yeah, maybe. I'll never have the money to afford to even ride in one for like 5 minutes.
You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Start a GoFundMe for mech
Send,
travels.
send Yeti to ride in a mech over in Japan. for $5, you'll hear Yeti be a child again.
Hey, trip to Japan, eat some good like from the motherland sushi.
Oh fuck the sushi, man! I go for some ramen, dude. Like you go to Japan, you're getting some ramen because they take time. They like we're going off topic here, I know, and I'm really showing my fat boy right now, but like Japanese culture, man, they don't really do much but stay traditional. When it comes to their food, they will keep it as traditional as possible unless it's like the intentionally being off the beaten path type thing. But like their home, like they will do homemade bone broth and stuff with the noodles, and dude, I would love to try authentic food from there.
I'm just saying, if y'all really want to hook us up, we accept cash and
Cash
electronic
app and
donations
electronic
for
donations and
trips because
money orders and I don't know where else I'm going with this.
I mean, we take singles, for to eat
Singles.
sushi in a Gundam suit. Like I'm just saying, like
That
I'll
would
hit the pole.
You know you've made it when you're in a Gundam suit with a sushi roll in hand.
Of course.
Nah, dude, but I think about that often, and like this is obviously one of the reasons why I'm not too religious. But back to the original thing you said, like it being religion based and everything, is that has me a little flabbergasted, I guess you could say. Like I'm in a conundrum in my own mind of like not understanding, but yet at the same time understanding how religion could relate to extraterrestrial beings. I mean, it makes sense of a outer worldly being quotation marks God, but
I don't think it's like
what
an
if
alien is God. My
a
theory
species?
is no, it's not that.
Okay,
It's that if there is a obviously a creator to the universes or galaxies, whatever the universe, because it's too organized to not have some sort of a creator.
right,
Of course, there would be like some other planets that have life, human-like beings or whatever. So with that, like I'm not getting into the whole like God's an alien or whatever.
no,
I'm
no,
just stating that
I wasn't saying you were saying that. I was just that's what I was saying. Like, that's how I'm kind of thinking of
because
it now.
for whether you're a Christian or whatever,
Catholic, whatever. Yeah,
that's still Christian, but
you're shut up is what you are.
whether Christian, Muslim, whatever, the concept of God
Baptist. Yeah,
is
that makes sense.
I'll throw something at you in a minute. But the concept of God is that God exists outside of like the space time continuum.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
he could not be like a
So
alien being or whatever.
what if it was a fourth dimensional being then?
But God exists outside of even that. Like
How do y'all know that though?
it's not always about knowing; it's about believing.
Don't you dare reference my tattoo. I don't know, man. Like it's still like like we've had this talk many times, and we can talk about this on our next episode maybe. This is not a segue, swagwagation into the next episode or ending this. That's not what I was getting at. I want to talk about that on the next episode maybe, because like you and I, we've had many talks about that, and I would like to get that out of my mind for everybody to understand, because like that's something that we could definitely sit here for hours and discuss. So anyway, that makes sense though, man, because like I understand like the belief of that being like he's just
It's like, are you going to paint one spot on your house when you're painting your house? Or are you
Yeah,
going
why
to
not?
paint the whole house?
I'm putting the one spot. I'm lazy. No? Okay. Well, there again, maybe God's lazy. I'm just saying, you have to have an open mind to it, man, because it's like I just said a little bit ago, maybe we are just the experiment.
I mean, creation of beings or whatever is an experimental thing. I mean,
Yes. And we don't need to be dabbling in ourselves as human beings. Like we don't need to be messing with cloning and shit like that. And no,
no, God, no.
that's how I don't know. There's plenty of movies where that's happened, and it's been nothing but bad. Cloning leads to
Cloning, AI,
AI. Yep. Dinosaur revival. Let's not do any of these things. But yet here we are.
like
Have
a
you? There
triceratops.
is a full movie series on why you shouldn't recreate dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. They're awesome.
Carnivores.
Bruh. Still. AI, I think, is actually a more terrifying one because of, well, Terminator.
Terminator,
iRobot was scary.
iRobot. Like,
That was more relatable than the Terminator stuff. Well, the Terminator stuff was cool because like the whole time travel thing. But anyway, I don't think we need to be progressing AI more than what it already is.
Terminator, The Matrix.
The Matrix actually is crazy if you really think about it, and how that's pretty much I think where the world's going to be going if we're not already in it.
Well, like, I mean, The Matrix. We can go on about that for a minute on another episode.
Yeah.
But like, which like the whole Terminator thing. The Matrix is actually supposed to be like a sequel to the Terminator series.
Really?
Yeah, have you not seen like the interviews with the lady that wrote the Matrix books and Terminator books?
I didn't know they were books.
Yeah, so
I thought they were just action films, you know?
no, so they were novels, and
I did not know that.
she says that it's a whole lot of religious symbolism or whatever in it
Makes sense.
because and I forgot like the kid's name, John Connor.
Yeah.
So John Connor, the initials JC for Jesus Christ. John Connor is supposed to grow up and essentially lead the rebellion against AI and
The
all
devil
that in
being
the
like,
Matrix.
wow. So AI technically, dude. The other day you were telling me about how like more we go into a physical cash. What would you say?
Cashless
A
society.
cashless society. That is a thing in the book that you've read
Mm-hmm.
that leads to about the end of the world, or is one of the things in the end of the world. The more I think about it, like it's probably gonna be sooner than we think, which is terrifying to know. I hope
When's
it
the last
doesn't.
time you just went to the store and paid something for cash?
Just the other day, I put $10 in gas.
Okay, but how often do you do that
Not very
versus how
often.
often do you swipe your card?
I don't swipe it. I plug it in. So don't hurt me.
I'm gonna throw something by the end of this episode.
No, that makes sense, and that's actually really scary because I really feel like we're already in the Matrix to a degree because we've talked about the, like the Mandela effect and everything. Like there's a glitch in the system somewhere.
A lot of glitches.
So
Shit.
pretty soon there's gonna be. What do you do when your computer's malfunctioning? You check to see if there's an update. That doesn't fix it. You get some anti fucking virus software shit, whatever have you. If that don't fix it, you start over.
I mean, hell, like, when's the last time you went a day without this good old like smartphone?
It's been a minute.
Every app on your damn phone has AI in it.
Yeah.
And
Their phone listens to everything we say. Like right now, like I don't know how many times like we'll be at work talking about something.
we're gonna get an ad for like the Terminator and the Matrix,
Oh
both of
yeah,
us,
yeah,
and Alien stuff.
most likely, or something to do with how to get money quickly. Maybe find out how to get a pizza, delivered to my house today. But yeah, no, dude, it's starting to become terrifying because I think that the chat GBT or whatever, like the AI made,
Yeah.
dude, like I think that's the closest stuff we're gonna have at the moment to alien style technology. But like with that being said, we need to stop it because
Oh,
like
for sure. Like, On
Excuse me.
top of all the practical things that it's kind of fucking up, I know even just in the things that make humanity awesome, and I think that makes humanity so much better than many other animal
Excuse me.
species, possibly otherworldly beings. But for centuries, the one thing that has made humans stand apart is not all of our crazy inventions or warfare, whatever. It's art, songs, drawings, paintings,
But see, that's been going on
sculptures,
for
centuries.
centuries. We're going to say millennia again because
Yeah,
even way back when we were very primitive, we used art to
communicate.
communicate. Yeah, and again, this is why we're saying this is because we're kind of going back to like hieroglyphs. If you don't believe this, you're stupid. Like we use hieroglyphs
And
every damn
text
day
messages.
in our messages. Yeah. So I had somebody the other day message me in nothing but little emojis and shit, and I was like, okay, let me get my freaking decipher out and figure out what this is, and my decipher get my cipher out. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
But like, so with and we follow a lot of superhero pages and all that. Like I've
Yeah,
sent you some of them because they look really dope. Like these AI renderings of Marvel characters and
yeah, they look
Power
better.
Rangers and stuff like that.
Some of them look better than what the actual artist has even done.
And I mean, so I mean, literally, our first logo for the show was I had an AI art app and I typed in Sasquatch and Yeti, and that's what come up,
Really.
and that's what I temporarily used.
Yeah, I
You know,
shout out to Rob Lopez again. Look at his Instagram. Can really help you out if you need some tattoos done or logos for something. The guy can really hook you up with a fairly decent commission.
but AI, mean, potentially could put people like him out of business.
Oh, yeah.
As a musician, I can't tell you, like, as a joke, I've gone on to Snapchat AI, Chat GBT, and like put in a song prompt, and like, sadly, it is actually tossed like maybe not like good whole songs, but like some kind of
At least kind
lines.
of give you an idea, like a premise to work upon.
Yeah, something. And in a pinch, like if you're a shitbag pop artist and you're just trying to pump generic songs out,
Shitbag pop
there
artist.
you go. But like, I know we talk a lot about like rock music and all that, but
Yes.
especially when you get into the more like Americana esque artists that like it's the band you've actually showed me. It's actually like a country group, Old 60 or whatever. Um, I forgot the name of the song now, but um, anyways, like they're really big on like TikTok and YouTube, and they write like some like really like just gut wrenching like lyrics about heartbreak, things like that.
Right.
You kind of, I think it hits harder because you can tell when the man sings it, it was a personal thing that happened to him.
Yeah.
And I think like AI is eventually going to take that away from art.
I don't know if they're going to be able to though, because they don't have those emotions to feel like that's the thing about art is that it's usually done using your emotions, your feelings, your whatever you went through, your trauma, whatever have you. You use that, and you can see that in art. You can see that in your music and whatever have you. So, oh my nose, like there's so many things, and that's why there's the museums I think are still really important, but those are starting to die out because they're everybody's like, oh, they're boring, which I will admit some of them are boring, but it's a very important part of our culture as humans to show our history, to show our art, what we've achieved, and what actually is still being done to this day is what we really need to hold on to, and people are slowly forgetting that. because, like you said earlier, these dumb little things we hold every damn day.
Yeah, like, and there again,
Excuse me.
so sadly, say you're like an actual artist who writes, draws, whatever, and maybe I know myself, like, I don't do much music anymore, but when I do have like an idea for a song or whatever,
Yeah.
I track it, or just like write the lyrics down on my phone or whatever. There again, like, I know artists, a lot of them are very iffy on people stealing their work.
Yeah.
You know, there again, we've put so much reliance on these little things.
Yeah, this is my alarm, my communication to a multitude of people, form of entertainment, information. Like it's this has replaced books. It's replaced a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if you have like a good smartphone and then you have a Type C like dock or whatever,
Yeah.
this thing is your freaking TV,
Yeah.
your computer, your game system.
Yeah, that's true. So riddle me this then, Batman. Excuse me. What like back to the whole like we're just an experiment by this extraterrestrial stuff. Maybe they're seeing if we can replicate what they have already done.
Could be.
And maybe that's why nothing has really happened to us yet, is because we haven't been able to, at the moment, develop what they have already done long ago.
So my dad always had this theory that at some point, you always see in like these sci-fi movies when there's other planets involved, it's Earth versus another planet,
Yeah.
X-38 versus Xenon or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's planetary warfare, like planet versus planet. And my dad always had this theory that one day, like if the world could ever put aside their differences and actually unite, for starters, our technological growth would be exponential overnight because we wouldn't, rather than be in
But say
competition with each
at
other,
each other's throats with
we're
everything.
like, we're over here. Oh, hey, well, I developed.
I think what it is though is the whole like there needs to be a greater threat that threatens all of us, not me threatening my neighbor type thing.
True, but my dad's theory was like that if we ever could get to that, almost like it's kind of like there's like a federation of other worlds
Yeah.
that once we could achieve
So
that
maybe
level of humanity,
okay.
we would be like essentially allowed into that federation.
So that goes in correlation with what you were saying earlier with the whole like scouting of the planet. Is they're coming to see if we've done anything or we're still at each other's throats. And maybe that's why they're like, no, we're not gonna mess with them because like they're still bickering over freaking this black liquid that's coming out of the ground or
I mean, why do you
this
think
piece
they
of
would
land over here.
pick up like the I guess I'm not gonna say the lowest of low life forms, but they pick up the less intelligent and stuff like that? Because that's really, I mean, how do you gauge the strength of your chain? By the weakest link.
True.
So if you're testing where humans are emotionally and intelligently, you're going to go, and even physically, you're going to go pick up from the lowest low of society and go, okay, well, we grabbed this guy over here, and
Or maybe
within minutes, for starters, he went walking across the ship and was already out of breath. He was confused. He said a bunch of racist things.
so maybe like what was it? This the whole predator thing like you were talking about, like when like they pick in their when they're picking their targets, their prey, so to speak. I can't remember which I think it's just called predators. Like the predator, the alien, it abducts, it takes numerous efficient warfighters from across the globe. Drug cartel, Russian military specialist, a U.S. specialist, whatever have you, from all these different places across the world, and then it hunts them all. And it finds that it's more challenging when they were united than when they were separated, segregated. But like that had Danny Trejo in it and everything. He was a drug cartel kind of guy, like, and
Of course.
but he didn't last long because he didn't really work well with the other ones. Whereas the other ones, was like the Russian guy, the Yakuza guy, the U.S. guy, and I think the Guatemalan chick or whatever, like they all
Yeah.
worked together and ended up being a little bit more formidable than what they were expecting. So maybe that is a good depiction of like how the world really should be, and probably as to why, like maybe that they have abducted other people. We just don't hear about it because they probably kept them.
Could
What,
be.
like you're just saying, like they wanted to see, this little weakling of a piece of the chain here, so to speak. You were just saying, we're gonna put them back. We did our tests and everything. We're putting them back. They're useless.
You picked it up and like, ew.
Yeah, but these other three or so, however many they might have gotten, they'd be like, okay, these have a little bit more brain function. They have a little bit more muscle tone. They might have more of this.
Or maybe they, take somebody who's intelligent or really physically,
Adapted. Yeah.
and maybe they have something like, oh, we can learn from you.
And they kept them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe
No, I
that,
get that.
maybe that's why we don't hear from that is because they didn't come back. Whereas Jim Bob did because he was fucking drunk or on whatever, and kind of goes along with the whole like expelling the alien force from you and that from that alien force in that movie John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
So like it's really weird how all this is starting to come together, but like it all makes sense when you put all the pieces together. You have those little, you remember that little weird ball puzzle back in the day when we were kids?
Yeah.
It's like that. But the pieces don't look like they go together, but then they go together, and it's like, oh shit! Now we have a little ball. It's pretty fucking cool. So it's scary to think about, though, man. And this is where like sometimes like I will keep myself awake up at night just stewing on this, going down the rabbit hole of information that is the internet. And it may be fake, maybe some truth to it. We will never know. I mean, I want to know, but at the same time, I don't want to know.
I mean, I think it's one of the things like we'll know when we're supposed to know.
Yeah, that's that religious thing in you again.
I mean, is it religion or is it like, I mean,
How
if
it's
there
supposed to
are further advanced species or whatever out there, here's the thing, like if they're so technologically advanced, I mean they are traveling light years to
be. Excuse me.
abduct people or do whatever, scan the earth, whatever they're doing. If they can do all that, let's be honest, they're only going to make themselves known to us really when they're ready.
Yeah. Or we come across something we probably shouldn't be coming across.
And I mean, the way we like to, humans are real big on essentially opening Pandora's box.
I would say curiosity killed the cat stuff.
I mean, how many times have we seen where like, oh, we were at this
Splitting the freaking atoms and making atomic bombs. Yeah.
yeah, that right there, like that was one of the greatest and dumbest things.
Yeah, that humans have ever done.
Like,
Isn't there that movie Oppenheimer's about that, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
I want to watch it though.
Did I just say I haven't seen that? What the hell, man? Dude, we need to wrap this up soon because my brain is not working. Jeez.
I synced it.
I want to see that movie because of that particular reason. Because like it really depicts like I get it was like a really crucial time in human history, but like you said, we did something really fucking stupid. At the same time, it also helped advance a lot of things in our life.
It's one of those can't have like the yin and yang, can't have the good without the
I'm
bad.
gonna say it's the catch-22 type thing or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like
Is it catch-22 or catch-21? I never get it right.
it's catch-22.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I was saying it right.
Or we're both wrong.
Or we're both wrong. Yeah.
And it's catch-45.
Probably. Let's pick up 52 sticks. But yeah, dude, that's a lot of that makes sense now. Like that, now we both have our things going. Like you can really splice them together, and dude, it makes even more sense, which just makes it even more scary.
Well, the horrible thing is all these like crazy theories we've discussed today are not out of the realm of possibility when you really look into it.
I'm saying, yeah, and they're not like it's barely scratching the surface. Like you're barely even done anything. You haven't put a dent.
I mean, if we scratch like too much past the surface on a topic like this, I feel like we're going to see a little SUV pull up.
It ain't gonna be Men in Black flashing us to make us go back to normal.
Although, I mean, if a black SUV does roll up and like Will Smith gets out with a neuralizer, whatever. I'd be like, just get a picture of it for me.
I'd be like, I kept your wife's name out my mouth. When's G.I. Jane 2 coming out? I really am a big fan. I'm sorry.
The fucked up thing was he laughed at that joke at first. Like, I watched a video of it. He laughs at the joke, and then she looks at him.
Excuse me. Yeah. He had to go and assert himself, and yeah, it was stupid.
Which that was a woman not worth asserting yourself over.
No, piece of crap person, man. That's just a whole
Definitely
issue.
a topic for another day.
Maybe. Piece of crap people or Jada Smith?
That's one and the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically. Cancel him. Anyway.
Woman done had 5 kids with Will Smith and still talking about how she in love with Tupac.
Oh my god.
They got the same haircut.
Bro.
Hey, we can make bald jokes. Life took our hair years ago.
That is true. That is true.
Well, before we say any more things that get us canceled, I think we have to kind of wrap this one up.
Oh yeah. I've made some bad jokes. But they're funny at the time.
But yeah, so
If you have any theories or thoughts on this yourself, let us know. Comments, messages, whatever have you.
Comments, messages. If you have concerns for our mental well-being, we're going to ignore those because we quit caring about that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's long gone out the window.
That's why we talk about all this crazy stuff publicly.
Yep.
We don't care.
We don't care.
But no, I mean, if any of our listeners like have some crazy alien theories or whatever,
I'm
out
sure
there,
there's a few of them out there that have some more outlandish stuff than what we talked about, or maybe the stuff we've talked about just now makes their outlandish thing seem more believable now.
maybe we'd love to hear those.
I would.
We want more fan interaction, messages, comments, all that.
Let us know what's going on, what you think, what we can maybe do to bring your thoughts to the show.
Or things you want to talk about, and give us topics, crazy, outlandish, personal, dark, whatever. We're down for it all.
Yep.
With that being said, hit us up on
With this swagwagation. We're going to segue to the end of this episode.
hit us up on Facebook at the Squatch and Yeti Show. We're on Instagram at the Squatch and Yeti. Listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and most like little small podcasting platforms. If you have those, we're on there too. With that being said, I'm Squatch, and me and got Yeti here.
Yeti over here, and this has been fun.
This has been fun. This has been great, and we will catch you on the next one.